gentlemen, this is the Maximus Roman channel. This is Ranting with Roman, the pot of awesomeness, the pot of rock and roll where the talks are real. My guest today is straight off of a huge victory. He is MEBW World Champion Jack Delta. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic today. How are you doing?
Well, you can't be doing that well. I mean, you just took a beating last night at Revolution against Matt Thunder.
No, I know, but I'm still world champion. That's all that matters.
Great to talk to you, Jack. Now let's take it back. Let's take it back to the beginning. Let's take it back to before you were a wrestler. Let's take it back to when MEBW formed. I did this with Matt Thunder. I got his take. Now I want to hear from you.
Well, as everybody knows, from my merch, from my promos, from everything that I do, I was a ref. I didn't do much wrestling at all, obviously, because I was a ref. No. When MEBW formed, it was kind of weird. It was weird meeting up with Zach and Austin, better known as Chris Storm, and like El Gingy, and like all the weird HWW guys, because that was like the first time in my life that like I met people through YouTube.
Right.
I
So
met
you
people.
were a Michigan EBW guy, right?
Yes, I was with Tommy. I was with Tyler Adams. I was with JT. I was with a bunch of old EBW guys that aren't with us anymore. We used to film at Tommy Gunn's house. It was an interesting time when we filmed there.
Right, because I remember watching those videos, and I've been on record to say that I thought you guys were straight up copying off of us because we were doing it since 2014, and me being like younger, I was like, well, we're the only ones that can have the EBW name. Why are
Oh
these
man,
guys doing it?
yeah, you got to be really mad because I went to go when I first heard of you guys, I went to go search up EBW again, and either the channel was missing or something, but there were like 20 or 30 other EBWs, all with like varying quality of success, but there were a lot of them. Like it's one of the
Right,
most.
I remember, you're right, there was a lot of EBWs. There was Elite Backyard Wrestling, there was your version, there was an actual version called Elite British Wrestling. And fun fact, one of those guys, I have no clue where he is now, but he actually used to come out to my old theme song. And he used
No,
to do my entrance with the hand gestures and everything and say time's up.
no way. That is
Yeah, so
insane.
he stole the name and he stole my theme song. And you could tell he's blatantly doing it. Like it's not a coincidence because he's doing my hand gestures and then he winks at the camera.
Oh my god, that is awful, bro. We
Yeah, it
gotta
was bad,
we
but
gotta somehow we gotta find that somehow.
I think they deleted their channel because I can't find it anywhere and they're just off the face of YouTube and yet here we are today.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
That
let's get another take on how MEBW formed as it was really a collaborative effort. Right now, I would like to bring on Cody Powers, former CEO of MEBW.
Well, so my backyard wrestling experience on the formation of MEBW was really interesting because I wasn't there for the start. My first taping ever was Backyard Mania 2. The first MEBW match I ever witnessed in person was Chris Storm versus Matt Thunder. And I was like, what the fuck are these kids doing? Like, oh my God. Just before that, Matt Thunder and Delta over here came and picked me up from work to take me to the taping. Thunder comes in shirtless in nothing but his shorts and a kick pads. It's like, what in the world? My coworkers think I'm insane right now. And then I didn't. They made some references about us filming some videos. That's all I'll say.
Cody Powers is getting picked up from his job to go film a porno with a few younger kids.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. So yeah, and then one of the worst moments of my life happened at that taping, and Delta knows.
oh
So
god, man.
I got screwed on this one. So Max, I want you to tell me how you would respond to this. My first taping ever. I don't know these guys as much. I only know Kyle. Or Delta. The only one I've known from prior experience. Like that's how I got in. and I barely knew Zach, and I barely knew a couple other people. I barely knew Tommy, and immediately I have to commentate the main event of Backyard Mania 2. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" Worst thing ever.
You can actually go back and listen to it. You can kind of hear bits and pieces of him kind of talking in there.
Yeah, it was bad, but
yeah.
It was really bad.
It had to get dubbed over.
Yeah, Zach had to dub it over. It was that bad. And I'm like, that's what you guys get. Like, I told you guys, I don't want to do this. I'm not ready. It's a main event.
Oh my god.
He let out one of the most infamous calls of all time. Are those shirts?
Shirts? Those are shirts.
Oh right, because that's when Rogue 4 formed, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, that sucked so much. And then like MEBW almost ended. Like
MEBW almost ended in that match.
Yeah, Tommy was so pissed. Oh, here's an exclusive Ranting with Roman thing that nobody else has ever heard. Originally, during that end segment where they turn on Chris Storm, Tommy called an audible because he was so mad about the commentary to have Austin kick Tommy out of Rogue 4. So Austin was in Rogue 4.
He shoot retired right there.
Yeah,
second.
He shoot retired. That's how bad that went. And then like, man, I didn't think we'd recover, and then we did, and everything was fine. But man, that was a bad experience.
So wait, so you guys had to obviously refilm that, right? Because that's not what.
Yeah, we refilmed the ending.
Yeah, we refilmed it.
That's seamless. Well, I guess because it. Yeah, right. That was really smooth, by the way, guys. That was really cool. I remember seeing that.
Oh yeah, go back. You can see how pissed Tommy was.
Oh, Tommy was mad
during
the
entire thing. Oh, also that segment has something that nobody talks about anymore. Is that we had the infamous curb tap by Tommy.
I love it.
Basically, there's this right at the end. He goes for this curb stomp, and it's one of the worst things I think I've ever seen in my life. And it was so bad that Wrestling Out of Context on Twitter retweeted it to the point that it had 170,000 retweets. And everybody was just roasting Tommy.
Yeah, it was funny. And yeah, he's going for the curb stomp, and he's doing one of his normal Tommy things where he says some like weird TV show reference. He goes, "Tastes good," and like curb stomps at him, but it's so bad. It was one of the best.
Oh. So Delta, so tell me, when you were reffing, did you want to be a wrestler, or were you not focused on wrestling? You just wanted to be there just for the love of wrestling, or did you always, your goal was to become a wrestler?
Well, to begin with, to be honest, like I had no intentions whatsoever of ever wrestling or reffing or doing anything. What ended up happening was Tyler Adams, or just Adam, randomly had this friend. He used to be in MEBW. It's AA Anthony Austin.
Oh, I got this. Correction, it's AA Anthony Ass Crack.
Yes. Okay. But no. So they used to have this thing before even EBW. It was called the UCW, and basically it was just those two would meet up every weekend or every other weekend, and they just beat like the shit out of each other. It was like deathmatch ESW bullshit. Like
right, and that's where Adam got all his scars from.
Yes, that's where he got all of his scars from and everything. But randomly one day, Anthony opted to invite me over, and when I showed up, he was like, "Do you want to ref?" I was like, "What?" Okay. And then I watched them just hit each other with light tubes for like 20 minutes, and flaming tables. And...
So give me a timeline. When is this? Before the formation of MEBW, right?
Yes, this was way before MEBW. This was before MEBW.
Okay,
this was before EBW. Yeah.
Okay, so you were reffing, right? So I'm guessing when you met up with Zach and Austin and them, they saw that you were a ref, so they were like, "Can we have your services, Ref Delta?"
No. What ended up happening was EBW picked me up because I was a ref for all of EBW.
Okay.
And
right, I remember.
Mm-hmm. And what ended up turning into the wrestling, where I wanted to, where that turn happened, was I was just getting I showed up at tapings and I was just watching everybody wrestling. I was like, this looks fun, and I just wanted to I kept pushing my spots. I kept asking for more ref bumps and like matches that I had. And then eventually I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna make the turn. And then
You know what that reminds me of, Delta? Not to cut you off, I'm sorry. You can keep going.
uh real quick, just to catch up, it's so Tommy wouldn't let me wrestle, and I decided the best method for me to do was go to James's federation. Even though he was actively in MEBW at the time, he still posted on his own channel, and I wrestled there first before I even wrestled in MEBW or any of that.
So that reminds me of our own guy, Falcon, who you had a match against, actually, that will go in infamy. But he started out as a ref for EBW in 2014. I didn't really know the kid. He was friends with Colin Logan, the Executioner, and Logan Cross. And so he would be brought along, and he was a fan of wrestling. So then he would just be a ref, right? And then he started liking to take the ref bumps. And just like you were saying, he was like, well, can I just do a match? And I was like, hell yeah, that's a great storyline from being a ref to becoming a wrestler, which was like your whole shtick for a while, the ref to riches.
Yes, bro, it's insane. Dude, everybody, like, I feel like every good federation has the ref turn. We've had it twice, actually, with
yes, we have.
Joe Dean.
I love him.
Right, Joe Dean. So that's your story, but Powers, tell me your rise to becoming CEO.
Okay, so my only memory is, I'm just hanging out with Kyle. We're like, hey, he's like, hey, I'm in backyard wrestling, and I'm like, huh, that sounds cool. Like, I think I could do a good GM or something. And like, we kept talking about it, and then like, I kept bringing it up, and eventually he's just like, you want to go to a taping and like be in the company? And I'm like, okay, I guess. And that's basically how I got there. I just wanted to experience being in a backyard wrestling company. And so I did it.
And then they just made you their CEO?
Yeah. Like, I wish I was at those like beginning thought process meetings of what the hell they were going to do with me. Cause yeah, that CEO angle was really interesting. It was fun, but I had a good time.
So then what was your thought process in coming out in your patented button-down shirts that I remember you so well from Worlds Collide 1?
Oh man. So I just wanted to like have a nice outfit that kind of like made me stand out. I like having very like stand outish outfits. Like my Mania 3 attire was very like different for me. It was a very different look. I try to do like very big look changes when I'm doing character changes.
Well, you do a great job at that.
I try to. Thank you.
Yeah, like seriously, like your turn to the leader of the Lost, like your whole thing changed, dude. That was awesome.
Thank you. The Lost was a really interesting experiment for me. Because it was the first time I really got to manage anything. Oh, well, I managed Erebus and ZWE, and I have some good stories from that. Yeah, like we all knew, everyone in the Lost knew for months ahead of time we were forming. We were talking about it for forever, just thinking about a name. And then, we just did it, and I got to kind of like play around with my character. The first time I was really a heel. At first I was like thinking about doing like a cult leader thing, but it really didn't work out, and I just thought it wasn't me. So I just kind of decided to go with like cocky dickhead who says fuck a lot. And just like, it's kind of like wacky. That's more me than
Right.
Cult leader.
Right. So, yeah, I think what you do with the outfits is really smart, because I try and tell people this, like June, Reaper, I try and tell them, like, dude, you went from being like EBW's Reaper, the babyface who took on Van Pelt at Blood, Sweat, and Tears 4, to now you're transitioning to a cult leader. Like, you got to change more darker tones.
Yeah,
and he just thinks wearing dark sweatpants and a black hoodie is that. But
I have
he's getting it. He's getting into it.
I have a comment on that, but I'll let Delta do his comment first.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I've been enjoying a lot of EBW recently. Everybody seems like they're developing well.
Thank you.
Okay. I have a follow-up to that, but first, what you just said reminded me a lot of an MEBW problem, I guess you could say, we had for a while, and that was the spooky Nike ghost, Joe Erebus. Erebus had this really long line of things like this was like a really weird thing with me and Erebus before I started managing him was I gave him so much shit because I was like, you're out here trying to be like spooky and scary and you're like trying to be Kane, but you're wearing Nike. Like nobody's gonna be afraid of the spooky Nike goat, bro. And like,
yeah,
and yeah, he started to change his attire, and it's gotten better. He's gonna, man, I can't wait till Backyard Mania 4 comes out because I can't wait to see what everyone to see what I have planned for Joe Erebus at Backyard Mania. It's going to be big.
That reminds me of when Jay Creed was in the Silence or Death Chapter 2, and he's supposed to be so scary, right? He's got all black. It's all black, so it's a good outfit, but there's a Reebok logo, and we had to use flashlights, right? No, it gets worse.
No.
So we had to use flashlights, and because obviously we're in the woods at 10 o'clock at night, it's pitch black in there. So this Reebok logo is reflective, so it's shining back at us. So if you go back and watch Silence or Death Chapter 2, you'll see that his Reebok logo literally reflects the light right back into the camera, and it starts like blinding the camera a little bit.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's like exactly the Nike Ghost thing. It's like you can't do it with a brand on there.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, I've had some really bad attires too.
Yeah.
I'll go back and say that.
Man, I'm glad you brought up Jay Creed. I love that guy.
Yeah. Wait, why? Where are you going with that?
No, I love him. He's fun.
Are you gonna do it?
You know what? I'm gonna do it. We got one of the most the MEBW Patreons have seen this, but one of the most golden interactions we ever had was when Tommy came to Worlds Collide 2 and met Jay for the first time. Oh my god. The interaction between those two was constantly hilarious. And then we got Jay to say Sphinx, and he said it like Sphinx, and that's on the Patreon. That was a good one. But continue.
So I want to bring this because I've always thought this, and I didn't ask Zach really, and I want to ask you guys now that I have two perspectives, two guys that didn't really even want to be involved. So how was it having all these federations? What is it? CW, ZWE, EBW, whatever you just said with Tyler Adams and his extreme ESW bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, how did this all work? And then the HWW.
Basically, it slowly just started that we just found out that people wanted to yard and just backyard wrestle. And then we were just like, you know what, fuck it. Let's stop trying to do like bullshit, like 2-person companies everywhere and just make a big roster.
Right. So, but then didn't MEBW form, but then James was still trying to do his ZWE stuff?
Oh, yeah. He stopped at,
like, how did that work?
He stopped after a while. Basically, he was in the undercard of MEBW for a while. And he was like feuding with like Chris Storm and stuff, but like in his spare time on his channel, he had basically a bunch of other friends that either at the time weren't good enough to be in MEBW or just aren't good enough to wrestle. And he slowly just picked people from there to come over, because that's where Xavier King came from, Joe Erebus, Blake Viper, Joe Dean, like a lot.
Oh shit!
A lot of people came from that company.
ZWE is our NXT.
Yeah.
I was about to say that, like, yeah, that was where you got. Okay, so that's cool. But like, was Tommy mad that on his spare time James would just go and film other stuff? Like, was he worried that he would get hurt?
Yes, he didn't. He wasn't silent about it either. He hated it. But it was just like, we always taped MEBW. I think originally it was on Saturdays for a while, and eventually after the Saturdays we made it switch over to Sundays. And then I was like, well, I still have work off Saturdays, and James is always free, and like everybody's always free, so we were just like, why not? You know what I mean? And and then Tommy just got upset that we were just wrestling outside of it, and he's like, it doesn't make any sense now that nothing.
It's ass. No, he wouldn't say ass yet. Now he would say ass, but
yeah, no, that cracked me up, Max.
Right, because that's how I would feel about that.
That cracked me up, Max. You're talking about the James and Nick talk. You know,
James and okay. I'm a linguist for this. Everyone in MEBW is, but there's a thing we call Fury and King speech. They have very particular ways of talking, and all of us have adapted it.
They speak in 2K Mad Libs.
Yeah, they speak in Mad Libs. Like one time, I was hanging out with James, and he was like, "Bro, that was just gold dust kick out or some shit." He would always scream gold dust kick out while we're playing 2K, and he has this like highlight video of gold dust from WWE, and it's just Michael Cole going, "The most bizarre superstar, Gold Dust," and he kicks out right in time with when Gold Dust music kicks in the promo. It's so weird. Like understanding their language and then bringing it to Jay Creed was great because Jay adapted it immediately. He immediately figured it out.
Because he kept rogue pouring it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm gonna tell that story. Yeah, so nobody knows this story. I'll try to like keep it on light on the details, but there was some backstage arguments, and James and Tommy were having an argument. James did not know how to like process the argument as a human. He like processed it as some like weird like toy where you press a button and it says like 3 catchphrases. Because Tommy was like, this is getting ridiculous. And James is just like Rogue 4 and does like the Rogue 4 hand motion. and then at Tommy, and he starts saying stiff back elbow like he was going to back elbow Tommy. And we're like, James, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
No, but what I really want to see is I want to see Jay Creed meet James Fury and
God.
Xavier King at the same time.
Oh, dude, I would give my soul to be there to see those 3 interact. Like I think you said it in the last podcast, but like we've had 2 opportunities to get Jay out to us. Like he was gonna come with you, and then he was gonna come separately, but he never showed up for either of them, and we missed out that interaction of Jay Creed, James Fury, and Xavier King, and I'm sad because that's a good interaction.
Right. Let's transition. Let's tell that story. So I'll start it off. So we were planning this trip to do another collab where I was gonna fly out to Michigan, right? This all was spur of the moment, guys listening. This was really crazy shit because I didn't think I was going to be allowed to get on a plane by myself, go to Michigan, and sleep at Matt Thunder's house.
Yeah.
But yet it wound up happening. I remember specifically, I was down the shore at the beach, Wildwood, New Jersey, for all of you who are familiar, at my shore house. And they're talking like, yo, it'd be awesome if you can come to Michigan. Like, it would be awesome. And I was like, yeah, guys, well, I don't think I could just stay in a hotel by myself, blah, blah, blah. Then Zach texts me. He goes, hey, my dad said it was cool if you sleep at my house. And I was like, oh, my fucking God, this just became possible. So I immediately asked my dad, who's at the shore house. He's like, well, you talk to your mother. My mom's back home in where we live, not down the shore. So I call my mom, and I'm like, hey, I can stay with Zach because she knows who he is. From Michigan, yeah. I really want to do this. I really want to do this. She's like, we'll talk about it when you get back from the shore. And I was like, oh my God, it sounds like it's going to happen. So I texted you guys like it was going to happen. A week later, she's like, all right, go. And then I buy a ticket. But then Jay Creed is like, I want to come. And I'm like, okay, here's my ticket. Get a ticket on the same plane for the same time. Zach's dad will pick us up and we can sleep there because Zach said it was okay for Jay Creed to come. So he buys the ticket. Same flight, same time. And here's where the story gets funny and bizarre, right? So I wake up in the morning, and he lives down the street from me at the time. He has since moved, but me and my dad go to his house to pick him up. I have my bags loaded in the car. We're ready to go to the Philadelphia airport. And we're in his driveway, and I'm like, all right, Jay, come out. No answer. Ring the doorbell. No answer. I call him. No answer. 3 times. Then finally, I'm like, maybe he's not awake. Maybe he'll just meet us there. He answers the phone. He's like, yeah, what's up, Max? Like, why are you calling me? And I'm like, dude, our flight leaves in an hour and a half. Not even 2 hours because I wanted to be early. Our flight leaves in 2 hours, dude. What do you mean? Why am I calling you? And he's like, I'm at football practice. He's at football practice.
Oh my God.
This dipshit is at football practice at like 9 a.m. He's at football practice. And I said, why did you go to football practice? You know you were going to Michigan today. He's like, yeah, yeah, I'm going right to the airport from football practice. I'm like, why did you even think to go to football practice? He's like, my coach said I had to come get my jersey today or else I wasn't going to be able to play for the whole season because I wasn't going to have a jersey. His reasoning was he had to go pick up a jersey or else he couldn't play for the rest of the season, which is okay, fine. Get your jersey and go. Why would you actually?
Yeah, what?
Why would you say it in practice? You had a flight. Like,
Yeah, he's stupid. Break his balls in the
Oh, I
group chat
will.
after this. But anyway, I go to the airport and I'm now by myself. I was like, at least I could go through security and all and wait with Jay. But now I'm alone and I'm like, all right, I'm like borderline nervous because I haven't been on a plane since I was like 10 years old, which would be 7 years prior, and I have no memory of it. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I wasn't nervous, but I was like, it's whatever. I'll just go. My dad's like, all right, man, good luck. I'm like,
Yeah,
thanks,
good
Dad.
luck. Welcome to Detroit.
I go and yeah, and I have to go on this touch screen thing at the front of the American Airlines to print some kind of information that they needed for security. So I have to type in all this information. I'm like, please don't ask for parent guardian. Please don't ask for parent guardian because my dad's
oh
already
my
drove
god,
off.
Oh, that would have been bad.
that would have been awful.
Well, he didn't drive off. He's not a terrible father. He like waited, but like the way that the airport works is there's a loading station where you
Yeah.
have to drop people off, but then you have to drive like a mile to wait in some like parking lot. And I was like, okay, it's gonna be a while for him to get back here. So I don't want my like I didn't want to miss the flight or whatnot. So it didn't ask for parent guardian. I printed out my pass and I waited in line. Now I'm waiting in line to go into what is it, TSA
Yeah.
or whatever it's called. And it's actually kind of early. I don't remember when the flight was, but it was earlier in the morning, so it was not crowded yet.
Yeah.
So it was still morning. The sun was just coming up. So there's these two businessmen that were right behind me, and I'm just a kid alone with a duffel bag on my shoulder and a book bag on my back, and I have my earbuds in and my hat on, and they're looking at me looking for some parents, but there's no parents, and they look at me and they wink at me, and they shake their head in like approval, and I'm like, yeah, they think I'm cool because I'm going on the airplane by
Yeah,
myself.
that's what it is. They're definitely not creepy old businessmen looking at a small boy.
Yeah, that was my first thought.
Yeah.
Well, no, they were, well, they weren't like older men. They were like 20, 25, so
Oh,
I wasn't weirded
okay.
out. Like they were closer to my age than anything else. Yeah, so before anything else is said about that. But yeah, I
older
go
ones are
through
usually into
security.
younger ones usually into girls.
So I go through security, no problem. Now I'm waiting at my terminal, and now the plane leaves in 45 minutes. And I'm like, Jay, dude, where are you? It's time to go. Like, if you're not on your way now, you're never making this. He's like, dude, I'm in the car. I'm literally halfway to Philly right now. No problem. I'll be there. And I was like, okay, I got through security in 10 minutes. Like, this is fine. Give him 20 minutes to get here, 10 minutes through security, and then we got 10 minutes before we board. So now it's 30 minutes, and with each interval of 10 minutes that pass, I'm freaking out because I'm sitting here looking at this TV monitor that says flight departing in so and so minutes, and I see it ticking down, and I'm trying to get a hold of Jay again. I'm like, dude, it's been 15 minutes since I last talked to you. Like, are you at security yet? He's like, I just pulled up at the airport. Now boarding, you hear. Now boarding. As I'm on the phone with him, and he says, I'm here. It was literally, guys, it was literally like a movie. He's like, I'm here. I just pulled up. And then you hear the lady go, now boarding.
Man.
And so I had like a cheap seat. So they give me my seating like last. Like you could buy a higher tier where you pick your seating, but I was last. So I'm going on the plane last, and I knew this. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go on the plane last. Maybe I can wait for Jay. We could go on together. And since he's coming in so late, maybe we'll get a seat together because, well, we're the only two that haven't boarded yet.
Right.
And so I'm one of the last people to board. Now I'm in the airplane, guys. I'm in the airplane. And I'm like, Jay, you have to come on now. And they're like, as I'm on the phone with Jay again, flight leaving in 5 minutes. 5 minutes till departure time.
Oh.
And I'm like, Jay, where are you? He's like, I'm going through security right now. My mom just left, or my aunt just like left me at the airport. And then um, the flight attendant is talking to the lady in front of me, and she's like, yeah, we're gonna leave on time. It looks like, but we just have one person that hasn't boarded yet. Just one person. I'm like, I know exactly who that person is, and I literally look to my left behind this flight attendant, and I see the empty seat. Jay would have been a row in front of me and to the left, a window
Oh
seat.
man,
And I was like, I know the one kid, but I didn't want to say anything because what? They're gonna
no,
stop the
probably
plane?
not. They don't.
Like, what was I gonna do? No, they
Yeah,
wouldn't
they
have.
don't care.
They wouldn't have. Plus, what if
Friends.
Jay was
Yeah,
bullshitting
true.
me? I don't even I don't even know to this day if Jay was really at security. That's what he was telling me. So so now I see them shut the door and I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to Michigan
Yeah,
alone.
I remember getting the text because I was at work when you guys are coming, and it was like Jay's not coming. I'm like, what? What do you mean Jay's not coming? Like we have to rebook everything.
Yeah, so speaking of that, I just want to shoot that out there just so people can have it. Little backstage tidbit. I can reveal this now. Jay Creed, when he was originally supposed to come out here, was supposed to challenge me at Showdown for the All-American Championship and not Maximus Roman. Max wasn't even... You weren't even supposed to originally win the All-American Championship either.
I know.
And Jay was supposed to be in Mayhem. He was replaced by Cody Powers.
Yep, I took Jay Creed's spot. I loved doing Mayhem. Mayhem was so fun.
Oh my God. I can't believe that just because Jay missed this flight that it would mean that I would become MEBW All-American champion.
That's so weird.
And it was insane too. As soon as Jay confirmed that he wasn't there, I was like, fuck, my Showdown match. But then I was like,
My Showdown match.
I know what I'm doing.
No, I love weird like travel things. Here's the Cody Powers shoots time. Originally TWE was supposed to be, and like I think TWE and who else was it supposed to be for Civil War?
More J&A guys.
More J&A guys. Were gonna be at Civil War when we went down there to film. TWE just didn't show up, and J&A only Luke Hayes could go, and like I don't think the trip would have been the same if those guys were there. Like I'm really glad they didn't. It sounds messed up, but I'm glad they didn't show up just because like we got to bond with the TBW guys and all that. Like we're still good friends with them, and we talk to them every day.
Well,
Yeah, and obviously because Ken Havoc came out and he slept in my basement. Yeah, he stayed with me for a good portion of the trip. And Ken Havoc is like Georgia me, or as I would say, Yeehaw me. He's into like all the nerd shit that I'm into. Like we were talking about Star Wars. Ken Havoc's like, this is gonna sound crazy because you've seen my room, Max. Ken Havoc is a worse nerd than me because I have some Power Rangers toys that like I don't have anymore. Like they're all sitting in a bin downstairs. Ken Havoc's taking all the Power Rangers toys, doing the morphs like to the T, and he's doing all these Japanese Power Rangers things. I'm like, God, you're a nerd, Ken. But I love him. I love that dude. Oh, he's
Really?
a nerd.
I never would have. I never met him. I would have never taken him for a nerd.
Hardcore.
It's weird too.
Yeah.
I didn't expect him to be a nerd.
Me and him bought lightsabers. We dueled outside my house. Yeah. Oh, Havoc's an interesting dude. I like that dude.
I've been to your house and I could just imagine you guys on the front lawn.
I have a video. I didn't put Ken Havoc's not in the video because we weren't. I wasn't sure when I was going to put it out to Patreon because I didn't want to like spoil that he was there. But yeah, he's behind the camera, so we didn't get any action with that. But it was close enough.
That's hilarious. So what did you guys think once you originally heard about EBW and when we were originally scheduled to work together? Was it then that you realized who EBW was? Or was it once you found out we were going to collab?
Oh, well, this is weird. So this has kind of actually happened with every single crossover like person that we've like collabed with. Is just before the crossovers like actually happen, I somehow stumble upon you guys in my recommendations. Because I think it was like a week before Zach announced that he was like looking for people to go to Jersey with. I found you guys. I found Bloodthirsty. And I watched it, and that was the first time that I had seen you guys. And I was like,
Bloodthirsty
yes.
2018?
Yes, it was the highlights, too.
Oh, it was the highlights or the full match? Because I know the full match got taken
it was
down
the
for
highlights.
violence.
I remember specifically because the song choice is also the assault intro.
Oh, really? Oh,
Then.
back then, right? Not anymore.
Yeah.
What was the assault intro?
What did you think of that Bloodthirsty compared to the one that we just did, the rematch?
I enjoyed both of them. Both of them had really, really good spots. But I don't know if this is like the common opinion, but I still kind of just prefer the first one, only because of nostalgia. If that makes sense.
Right, yeah. That's what I was finding. I was finding that I can't like this one more. Like, it's way more relevant because the wrestling's better. Like, if you watch the highlights of the first one, I applied a headlock totally wrong. I facepalm every time I look at it.
I can't go.
And I don't know.
I can't go back
sloppy.
past a certain point watching my wrestling anymore, just because I'm a critique, and that's all I look for now. And
I wish I could, but it was all deleted.
Dude, I feel so bad for you. Every time I remember that, I'm just like, I can't imagine. I couldn't imagine.
Dude, EBW has been a struggle since day freaking one. Since I found you guys, it's been a little bit easier because I can relate to you guys. So I'm really thankful to have you guys.
Well, I'm so glad you're my friend. I'm so glad I get to talk to you all the time, man.
Yeah, thank you.
We always have good times. The first Jersey trip for us as a bonding experience for the MEBW guys alone was ridiculous. Because, like, I wasn't even supposed to go on that trip. I took Storm's spot. Storm was supposed to go the first on that first trip, and I took his spot because he didn't end up wanting to go. And, like, I don't know if I'd have the same MEBW relationships as I do now if it wasn't for that trip. Because, like, Adams and Zach, I got to bond really well with them. Like, I'd already known Kyle and we'd already had our bonding moments, but, like, I got to know Zach and Adams more. And that's just, like, we're the ones that hang out mostly.
Yeah, we're some of my best friends.
Yeah, we do. We're the Goon Squad, as Richard Christian would call us.
All right, guys, last few questions here as we start winding down. We're going to move into the lightning round. I don't know if I should rename this into the Roman round or what, because I feel like everybody does a lightning round, but we're calling it lightning round as of now.
Are you just throwing that out there just to see if people like it? Because I like it.
I'm okay with it.
I want to see if it sticks, the Roman round, because, I mean, I wrestle pretty fast, I hit pretty fast, and I move pretty fast, so it's
Trust
lightning,
me, I know.
kind of.
I get what you mean.
I don't know. Yeah, So this round, basically, I'm going to come up with questions off the top of my head because I don't write any notes, as all of these podcasts so far have been me with just my friends. And I'm going to try to make myself not look stupid. I'm going to try and make you not look so stupid. All right, guys? So I guess I'll ask you both questions respectively. So one will be for Kyle number one, and one will be for Kyle number two.
Which one's which? Are we going in order of appearance?
I'll call you Delta, or I'll call you
there
CEO. Okay, so lightning round begins in 3, 2, 1. CEO, favorite Star Wars movie, go.
Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Yes, sir. Okay, Delta, what is your favorite wrestling match?
Favorite wrestling match that I've ever been in? Oh, it's hard.
Yes, sir.
TLC with Adams.
Yeah, that was awesome. All right, CEO, back to you. What was your favorite wrestling match that you've ever watched, like a backyard wrestling match?
Nothing will ever beat the experience of watching you and Zach the first time. That was just like a mind-blowing experience.
The first time over the
just in terms of like the aura of watching it live and like seeing that first meeting. The third match I'd say is a better match overall, but the aura of the first match I love.
All right, back to Delta. Favorite memory that me and you have. I'm thinking of one right now, but I don't think it's the best, but it's hilarious.
We've had a couple. I really enjoyed meeting you at the airport when you came here, just because I just felt like them.
Yeah, that was really.
Yeah, I was ready. I was so ready for that.
Come on, lightning round, man.
Lightning I know round. It's hard. Lightning is fast, and I'm not fast. I'm slow. I'm big.
Strong.
Strong. Watching CEO Cody Powers throw up a peanut butter milkshake.
Yeah, that's what I was going. That's what I was going for. The VR
No,
moment. that we
I'm
had.
going to break the lightning round. I have to explain this now. No, so lightning round
Lightning round
pause.
pause.
So I blame multiple factors on this. First things first, I have a rule here in Michigan, and it's don't eat at anywhere below 12 Mile. And we ate below 12 Mile. So for those of you who don't know, obviously you know 8 Mile is the movie with Eminem, and that's where all the crazy shit happens. I refuse to eat anywhere 8 Mile to like 9 Mile because that's just like you're asking for trouble. Even 10 Mile, you're asking for trouble. You're asking for hour-long wait times. So we're in like East Point, which is like way farther than where we are. And we go to a tropical smoothie and a Subway. Tropical smoothie I can trust a little more, but I don't trust Subway as a brand in general.
Wait,
And you were there.
I was there, right? Right. Yeah. Yeah.
we got our food and like I was sitting on the couch on the way or as we got home, and I was just vibing. And all of a sudden I kind of got that like, oh shit, I think I have to throw up. And I hate when that happens because I'm just like, oh god, I'm at the precipice of death and I'm never going to recover. So yeah, I went up to the bathroom. I barely made it. It got on the floor. I had to clean Zach's floor. Like I threw up everywhere. It was just like Subway and peanut butter chocolate tropical smoothie. And you know what? I'm gonna shout out Joe Erebus right now because he told me to get that peanut butter chocolate bullshit. Fuck you, Joe Erebus.
Yeah, and that's the bathroom that I had to shower in, and there was throw up all over the floor, so I couldn't even make it to the
I
shower.
cleaned up pretty quick.
Max, I want to publicly apologize for how we treated you on your trip out here.
Dude, I feel so bad for that trip because we had a good time, but like it was just the timing was so off because we could have done so much better. We could have things.
No,
It was fine.
It
It's
was
just like
like you were physically exhausted because you had to wrestle 75,000 matches because Jay didn't come, and it was the personal hangouts could have been a little bit better. Like American Pie was fun, but like beyond that, it was just kind of
eat anywhere. The thing.
Next
time we're gonna have a blast.
time.
I know we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should we resume?
I'm ready.
Lightning round? Are you guys like ready? Okay. Can we get a countdown? 3, 2, 1. CEO, back to you. Favorite video game?
I just beat
currently?
Doom Eternal. Obviously, Joe Erebus is the Doom Slayer for a reason. I will always say that Joe Erebus is just what I want to do in wrestling. Like all of his theme songs have been picked by me as theme songs that I've wanted to use personally, and that's why he has every theme song that he has. And yeah, so Doom Eternal was amazing. Blew my brain out.
Okay, Delta, same question for you. Video game.
Luigi's Mansion 3. Fantastic game.
Yes, I go for that.
Yes.
I play Nintendo. Let's see. Both of you, favorite WWE / promotion that's not backyard wrestling match. Pick who goes first.
Fuck, I gotta go first. So I can't like answer a specific match because I've realized over the course of thinking about this question being asked eventually that I don't remember matches. I just remember storylines and feuds. So I'm just gonna default to saying Edge and John Cena in like the early 2000s when they first were chasing the title belt as a whole.
Yes, sir.
Mine is easily one of the most underrated matches no one ever talks about. It's Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship at it was like No Way Out, or like one of those like B tier 2005 pay-per-views.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
fantastic.
Agreed.
Match.
That's an underrated match.
And Kurt Angle is my favorite match forever.
All right, I think that concludes the lightning round. You guys did good. I mean, even though we had a nice
very
pause
nice
in the middle.
pause.
Yeah, we had a good halftime.
Yeah,
I'll call that the halftime show. So I want to thank you guys for coming on here. We had a great talk.
I'm down. I'm totally down. Erebus texted me and is like, so when are we going on Max's show? And I'm like, I already scheduled one with Kyle. We'll go another time.
Yeah. What would you rather have, the world champion or the Doom Slayer?
No, he's the good Slayer now. This is post Revolution.
Yeah, Delta, I had to take advantage because you just retained the title at Revolution, man. That's why you're on here today.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate it, man. I really hope anybody that's listening to this goes and watches that match, because me and Zach put out a lot in that match. It's a really good match.
Links
that was a
probably
really
in the
good match,
description.
and who doesn't want to rewatch Raylo and Blake Viper? That was such a 5-star great match.
No. All right, we're not allowed to. God damn it.
So I had an idea. I want to run it by you guys right before we end this right here. What if we did an EBW MEBW podcast where I get all my guys, you get all your guys, one room, same time, all of us, all the personalities?
That would be a very interesting podcast.
We'd have to see who we put on there.
Yeah.
I feel like I could get.
Well, you guys pick your roster, and I'll pick my roster.
Okay, I got a perfect preamble question that I'm already thinking of. How far apart are we going to put Zach and Jay? Because they need to be pretty far apart.
Well, I was talking about not like when we're together. I'm talking about like over the phone.
You're
but
dumb.
if you want to, no, but that would be a problem.
Yeah, that would be a big problem.
No. I mean, like we're doing right now. You just get all your guys, and I get all my guys.
We could probably do that.
We'll see how social distancing does with that.
Yeah, we'll discuss our boys.
Okay, well, yeah, in the future, when the world is cleansed.
We're going to have too much stuff coming out when the world is cleansed.
Yeah, way too much.
We're ready to wrestle. We're ready to do stuff.
All right, you heard it. The MEBW guys, they're ready to put out some more content, but so are the EBW guys. This has been Ranting with Roman. I've been ranting with Cody Powers from MEBW and the world champion from MEBW, Jack Delta.
Woo!
Thank you for having me.
It was a good time, man.
Yep, so thank you guys so much.